April, you've been in a number of projects this year. You've been pretty lucky with work. Can you tell us a little bit about your most recent project?
Oh, I just recently wrapped a show called She Made Them Do It, and it's for Lifetime, and it was much less glamorous than this kind of a look. I played a prison inmate, and it's based on a true story about one of America's most wanted women, Sarah Pender, and how she escaped from prison, and I play one of the women that she was locked up in prison with, and then after she escaped, she comes after me. Fabulous story. Wonderful show.
How do you get into a character like that where you have to play someone who's been basically seeked out?
Oh, I'm lucky because my husband has a psych background.
Okay, that would help.
It does. So he helps me get into these characters immensely. But I read a lot, and I've been very fortunate in my career to play a lot of characters based on true characters. So it gives you a lot of room to learn. Wikipedia is an amazing tool, and then the internet, of course. All kinds of sites give you all kinds of knowledge.
And when it comes to the true stories, do you ever get to speak to the person that was involved and research off of them?
No, not a lot. I've had a couple instances where I got to, but I played Kathy Evelyn Smith, who was the last person to see John Belushi alive. She basically, they believe, gave him his fatal speedball. So when I played her, I didn't get to talk to her. I also played Liz Glick, who was the wife of one of the gentlemen who passed in the United Flight 93 air crash, the plane that went into the ground. And I tried desperately to speak with her because I felt such a huge responsibility playing a woman. And part of my dialogue was actually transcribed from FBI, transcribed. I don't know how they got all of the dialogue, but they got a portion of the dialogue that she had with her husband, and those were the last words they spoke before the tragic crash. So I felt a huge responsibility playing her, and I wanted to honor her it was so important for me to honor her. So I wanted to speak with her badly, but I didn't get a chance, which is unfortunate.
And when it comes to that, if you're not able to speak to the person, how do you get into their mind frame, what they were feeling at that point in time?
That one was probably my hardest. Flight 93 was I have to say, the hardest because, again, it was an event that touched the world. And these people on the flight were heroes. I don't know how I did it. I really, when I went to the audition for it, I was so scared that I said, I'm not going in, I can't go in. And I sat outside trembling, and the casting director came out and she said, you've got to go in. And I said, okay, fine. And I went in and I did my audition, and I was very stoic. And at the end of the audition, they clapped. And they said, that was beautiful. And I said, but I didn't even break down. And then I started to wail. And they said, but that's what really happened. That's what a real wife does when her husband is in such a dire situation. She stands by him and she stays strong. And I said, oh my God, thank God I didn't have personal knowledge of what that would be like, but I learned so much from playing her.
So basically from sitting there getting worked up about the whole audition process, that's what got you through that one.
I guess. And my fear, that did it.
That's awesome, though. Obviously, that's one of your memorable roles.
It was, yes.
Is there any others that sort of stick out in your mind?
Oh, well, I did a film called Amazon Falls a couple of years ago, and I was so fortunate with that role. It was loosely based on the life of Lana Clarkson, who also met a tragic end. And so I felt responsible, like a big responsibility playing her as well. But that role was a big one for me because it opened me up as an actor, and it made me actually, for the first time in my life, in my career of 20 years, believe that I was good. I'd always thought that I was well-liked and I did my job well, but after playing Jana in Amazon Falls, I actually sort of started to think, oh, I'm good.
I'm doing the right thing.
I won a lot of awards and got nominated for a lot more, and it's been pretty wonderful. And that opened the door to Hell on Wheels, which is a series I did for AMC for 2 seasons. So I've been very lucky, very blessed.
And in saying that, is there one role in your mind that you would absolutely love to have?
Oh, I'm too old now, but I always wanted to be Marilyn. Always. When I was Miss Canada, Marilyn Monroe was my talent for the talent portion of the competition, and uh,
Can you give us a little Marilyn? There you go. See, I don't think you're too old. I think you can pull it off.
No, I think I'm too old, but I love you for that.
Now, what is your current project that you'll be working on?
Well, as I said, I just finished the She Made Them Do It. On November 4th, we have a film that I did for Hallmark called Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, which is a wonderful romantic comedy. So that's coming out in November. And I have a few more coming up down the line too. So I've been very lucky.
And the November one, is that made for TV movie?
Yes, made for TV.
Do you happen to know where we'll catch it?
Well, it'll be on the Hallmark Channel November 4th. And I'm not sure when it will air in Canada. It'll probably go to Global. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for it. Now, I have one question that I try to ask each of my guests.
Sure.
You're not wearing any today, but it's about your socks. I think that socks tell a lot about a person's personality, and I'd like to know on a regular basis, when you're not all dolled up and looking lovely, what type of socks do you wear?
My husband's.
That's the first time I've heard that.
That's what my husband catches me all the time. He'll say, that's it. He'll buy me 18 pairs of socks, and I still wear his.
And why is that?
I don't know. They are.
Are they a certain color?
No, I like sports socks.
There you go. I like it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It was lovely meeting you. Thank you.